السلام عليكم. Question number 1. The general formula of electronic configuration of the main transition element is. Do you think what? We have number of electrons in d orbital. We have maximum number of electrons. D contain 5 orbitals, 2 electrons in each one. So we have 10 electrons, and s orbital contain 1 orbital. It filled with 2 electrons. So the first one, or the first answer here, B, will be the right answer. N minus 1, D from 1 to 10, NS 1 to 2 electrons. Okay, another question. The electronic configuration of element of the penultimate column of D block is. Okay, what do you think about electronic configuration? Electronic configuration depend on the number of electrons. So here we have the right answer, n minus 1, d power 10, or 10 electrons here, maximum number, and n is 1. Okay, it means that we have 1 electron in the s orbital. Okay, another question. Element which has electronic configuration 6s2, 5d3, 4f14. It means that the electronic configuration depends on the number of electrons in the d orbital. So we have here 3 electrons in d orbital, so we are in third transition series. Okay, another question. Question number 4. All of the following about scandium is correct, except. Do you think what? Scandium have different properties from the first one. I think it's the right answer. Burn in pure oxygen, forming scandium oxide. Okay, it make different forms of according to burning completely or incompletely. Okay, another question. All of the following are among titration properties. Okay, except we have here the element titanium. Titanium, different properties of it, except what? Except all of them have high melting point. So here we have titanium give different forms of oxidation, we said depending on burning. So it has high melting point, not low melting point than aluminium. Another question here. Which of the following is vanadium property? Okay, you think we have different properties of vanadium, but we have here property except it make alloy with steel used in manufacturing the gears in jet engines. It's a property characterized for vanadium as it give high oxidation state or high ability to be not oxidized with air. Another question. Which of the following statement is correct? We have here chromium doesn't react with halogens or oxygen at high temperature. Car rims are plated with chromium. Chromium 2 oxide is colorless. HCl is used in the following reaction as an oxidizing agent. Okay, we have here 14 HCl and potassium dichromate K2Cr2O7 give water 7H2O and 3 chlorine element, 2 potassium chloride and 2 chromium chloride. So the right answer will be here we have car rims are plated with chromium. Chromium make a protection for the metal or for the car rims. Another question here. Among the famous manganese compounds are MnO2, KMnO4, potassium permanganate, manganese sulfate MnSO4, and manganese oxide here MnO2. Which of the following choices correct for these compounds? We have here different choices about each of one. The first one here, do you know what we talking about this before? We have here potassium permanganate. Okay, we can use it. Each one of them have different properties. Okay, and the uses of each one will be important. Okay, so the main one of potassium permanganate here depend on the presence of antiparasitic, as it is used in fish tanks as a antiparasitic compound. Potassium permanganate here. Manganese dioxide here, manganese oxidation number here is positive 4, its oxidation number. And manganese sulfate here we have added to soil to protect citrus crops. Okay, another question, which of the following equipment represent Fischer-Tropsch process? Okay, we have here a compound make oxidation and another one make reduction. So we will here we have iron as a solid, it make oxidation, take oxygen, make iron 2 oxide, and carbon as a element. Question number 10. Which of the following statement is correct? We have here on approaching cobalt rod to manganese field or a magnetic field, it becomes magnetized. Nickel is used in the composition of modern rechargeable lithium ion battery. Alpha radiations emitted from cobalt 60 are used in treating cancer. Nickel forms with aluminium and alloy used in the manufacturing the permanent magnet. Okay, here we have the first one will be the right answer. On approaching a cobalt rod to magnetic field, it becomes magnetized. Okay, as it gives the property of magnetic field. Another question, the choice what represent the properties of metal which is more convenient for the chases manufacture. Okay, here we have it must be low in density, droppability, and resist rusting. It means that we have must in the property of car chases resist rusting, we have here too high. So one of them is the right here. We have resist rusting and droppability, the right answer, and density will be low. Question number 12. Which one are used as a fungicides? We have here two compounds that we can use as a fungicides. We have here what? Copper sulfate and manganese sulfate. We have two compounds here as a fungicides as they kill fungi. We have another question, question number 13. If the electronic configuration of M plus 3 ion is Ar3d5, then the atomic number of the transition metal M is, I think it's easy, it lose here 3 electron, or oxidation number here 3, so it lose 3 electron from the d orbital, so the atomic number will be 26. Okay, here the atomic number will be 26. The ion which have the electronic configuration argon 3d4 are, okay, we have here ions that have 4 electrons in the d orbital. Okay, we have here 2 that give this one. We have here chromium plus 2 and manganese plus 3, or oxidation number 3, so it lose 3 electrons here and the chromium lose 2 electrons. Another question, the ions which have the electronic configuration argon 3d6 are, we have here 6 electrons, it's not completely filled with electrons, so we have here what? Iron plus 2 and cobalt plus 3. cobalt lose 3 electrons and iron lose 2 electrons here, so we have 6 electrons in the d orbital. Another question, the electronic configuration of copper to iron. Copper plus 2, it means that lose 2 electrons here. We have what? We have electronic configuration, not electrons in 4s orbital and 3d9. Okay, it means that lose the 2 electrons here from s and 3d9 electrons. Another question, the electronic configuration of the ion A is argon 3d5, while the electronic configuration of ion B is argon and 4d 3d4. Okay, here we have, what about our choice? The ion A represent what and the ion B represent what? Here we have completely filled here, and another one contain 4 electrons. It means that its atomic number here will be iron 3, it will be the ion 1 iron 3, and the other one will be chromium plus 2, or oxidation number 2. Here we have question number 18. When d-sublevel contains 8 electrons, the number of half-filled orbitals equal, we have here 8 electrons. So we have half-filled orbitals, means contain only 1 electrons. Okay, we said that before, d orbital completely filled with 10 electrons. Right, we have 5 orbitals, each one filled with 2 electrons, so we have 10 electrons. So we have here 2 orbitals that have only single electron or have completely filled with electrons. Another question, which of the following represents the electronic configuration of one of the transition elements ions? Okay, here we have transition element. Which one? We said that we have 4s orbital. Here we have argon 3d10. It means that we have here ion in or completely filled in 3d orbital. Okay, another question. We can neglect, in question number 19, we can neglect s, as here s is not containing any electrons. We can write 3d10 completely filled with electrons. The question number 20, the oxidation states of the first transition series element ranges between, it means that it lose very great amount of electrons, so it will be electrons here from +1 to +7. It means that it will lose large number of electrons to be make different oxidation states. Question number 21, on moving from group 3b to group 7b in the periodic table, highest oxidation state of the elements of these groups are fulfilled when electrons of what are lost? It depends on what? We depend on here the number of electrons in the d orbital. So the oxidation state here, or the electrons are lost from s orbital and will give high oxidation number, giving losing electron from d orbital, so ns, and n minus 1d means we have here, if we have 4s, so the number of orbitals will be 3d, or means n minus 1. Another question, question number 22, which of these pairs of element characterized by more than one oxidation state in their compounds? I think it's easy. Manganese and titanium, they have more than. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoy our lesson today. Okay, we will continue a lot of questions later.